Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lazy and I'm back after the break. In this video, I'm going to go over my new bloodmage build, and it's the one I'm playing on the screen right now. Quick disclaimer, this build is pretty broken, pretty strong, and probably going to get nerfed. As you saw in the intro, T4 Xesht goes down in about 1 second, and that's thanks to the interaction that I'm using within the build. This is not a Temporalis build, and I'm not using a Temporalis, but the interaction has been abused by the Temporalis user for the last few weeks or so. I made this build as a tribute to my Siege Cascade setup, which got nerfed, yeah. So just want to put something together that's still fun to play. This build is actually quite budget, easy to set up, and yeah, let's talk about it. So the heart of this build is an interaction that is quite frankly broken and delete bosses in an instant because the key is an infinite damage loop that created by Frostwall and Choir of the Storm Greater Lightning Bolt. So here's how it works. With 100% crit chance, every time you land a crit with a Frostwall, it will trigger Greater Lightning Bolt. And that in turn can actually generate energy for the cast on crit to trigger the Frostwall again, which create infinite loops of basically just Frostwall and Great Lightning Bolt. And you can also manually cast Frostwall as well to keep things going, but once the loop is rolling, it's pretty much just take care of itself. Now, beside the infinite damage loop, there's another source of damage, which is the overkill damage from the Greater Lightning Bolt when it strikes the Frostwall, and we purposely keeping the Frostwall HP low with icicles and low-level Frostwall, and we have Trampletoe, which you can see here. I don't even have the corruptions. You pretty much just do a lot of damage. You don't need any crazy gears for this setups. You can imagine that you are doing a tons of overkill damage, overlapping over the boss with the 30 Frostwall and the Great Lightning Bolts trying on all of them and within the loop as well. So yeah, you can see how this build is doing so much damage. To make things even better, we are using Crest of Adura to reduce the cooldown of Greater Lightning Bolt, which ensure the loop will stay consistent. Put it all together, that's how this build is able to absolutely obliterate anything, any bosses, any contents in the games right now. Quickly, I want to talk about the Ascendancy choice and the skill choice because it's quite simple for this particular build. Now, I picked bloodmage because bloodmage is one of the best spellcaster when you are speccing into crit. We have Ghost Spy over here, which give us about 90% crit damage with our life always overflow at about 3600. Then we have Sunder the Flesh, which is easily one of the strongest nodes for crit builds. It gives all of our spell a base crit chance of 15%, which is incredibly efficient for scaling up to 100% crits. So this one have a base crit chance of 10%, so with 5% more, that's a lot of crit chance that you can get from no other Ascendancies that can provide this efficient amount of crit chance. Vitality Siphon is pretty much there for sustains, and it's keeping us alive. It's provide huge quality of life boost for mapping. Same with Mancy, every bloodmage have to take this. Basically, we always overflow our life, and if we're not, we are easily leeching with the glove right here, and I'll talk about that in the gear sections. On the passive skill trees, basically you want to click all the nodes that give you crit chance. So critical exploit here, all the crit chance node over here, crit chance, more crit chance here, some damage increase from trigger skills, which not really needed, honestly. I'm just taking it for smoother mapping because I'll get better cast on crit energy gain, and while some is really good, give extremely good damage for the Greater Lightning Bolt. More crit chance here, some ES for defensive layers. We have physical damage here, critical hit chance for spell, elemental damage increase if you dealt critical hits, and more critical hit chance. So basically, the jewel is actually quite simple. You want to get as much crit chance as you can get on the jewel, so you want critical hit chance for spell. Essentially, your goal is to cap your crit chance for this Greater Lightning Bolt and Frostwall. They should be about the same because it should be at 100% for both of them because they had the same base crit chance. So that way you don't even need to use Eye of Winter. I just put it here, but I don't really use it. And yeah, so just critical hit chance for spells, all that good stuff. Clicking all this thing here. I have a Megalomaniac diamond with Path of Flame and Sudden Escalations, which is really strong. So Sudden Escalation gave me crit chance and more cast speed, which is good. Path of Flame is actually one of the nodes over here in the Sorcerers area. So it's supposed to be Path of Flame for Sorcerers, but for bloodmage, it's changed to Jagged Shard. So you basically get that instead of Path of Flame, which is pretty good, and I kind of tested out. It does give me the critical hit chance for spell, so if you don't know, now you know. It's supposed to be a pretty good one, but it's pretty random to get a Megalomaniac jewel like that. So yeah, this particular diamond jewel here, it doesn't really matter. You want to snipe one with Sudden Escalations, and then you can choose to path to here, take 3 more points, which is fine. Usually if you don't, you just click other nodes that give crit chance. There are plenty of nodes that give crit chance. This one gives 10% crit chance. You have some more crit chance over here, 20% crit chance over here. So you have plenty of options. Beside that, for the anointment, I am taking Crushing Wave because this node is cheap and I don't need more critical hit chance. If you do want a better node, I think right over here you can get more critical damage bonus. Usually you don't need this. So just more crit chance over here and strength, which is actually really good because we will be running kind of tight on the attributes. So you want to have about 200 intelligence, which I'll click some more attribute notes, some dexterity here. So yeah, on the gear and on the attribute tree, you want to balance out your attributes so you can get your gems to the correct level that you want. Oh, and one last thing, you don't have to worry about weapon swap. This build is actually way too OP, so I didn't do any weapon swap shenanigans with the build. If you do want to do weapon swap for more damage, if you feel like you're liking damage, which frankly you don't, you can do some kind of sigil power setups. You can do some offering setups for more spell damage. But like I said, you don't need more damage. So for whatever you do, it's up to you. But this is the base tree that I'm going to provide. Also a written guide as well for this. So yeah. Let's talk about the gears. And it's very simple because once you have the Trinities setups, pretty much Choir of the Storms, Crest of Adura, and Trampletoe, you pretty much can use any kind of gears, right? As long as you can cap crits. So Choir of the Storm, really, is one good attribute rolls. Attribute is very important, like I mentioned before. You'll be running pretty tight on attribute if you want to level up all your gems to the highest level. So resistance is also good because we are running a lot of unique gears, so it'll be a little bit harder to cap resistance. As you can see, I don't cap my resistance here, but usually it's fine because this build is quite tanky. We have a lot of effective HP pool. Trampletoes, you don't even need good corruptions. I have effectively the worst one, right? 27% instead of the default 30%, so it's like a brick one, but I still one-shot pinnacle bosses. Crest of Adura, you want to get one with 50% increased cooldown recovery rate, high intelligence, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You want a good Azuri Disdain. I was running some power charge shenanigans, but then I realized I didn't need it for this particular build because it's way too strong. Try to get one with a higher maximum life gain as extra maximum energy shields for more defense because we are running Green Feast. For the Seed of Cataclysms, you want one with really good crit hit chance and critical spell damage bonus. Mainly critical hit chance. You use this to cap your crits. So the trick is that you don't need to get one with like cap crits because you can use Caster modifier to increase the critical hit chance and critical spell damage bonus. So as you can see here, and you have 20%. So I bought the ring at 44 and 43, and after using the Catalyst, Caster Catalyst, I increased it to 52% and 51%. So yeah, it's pretty good. Then we have Azuri Acuity. Now you don't need to get one with high critical hit chance because it can be expensive. You can get crit chance elsewhere. As I show you the passive skill tree before, you have plenty of space to get more crit chance. So you can get a cheaper one at 30%. And it would still be fine. You still are going to be able to cap crits because you are bloodmage. Beside that, the belt, you want strength, good resistance, maximum life, good resistance, maximum life on the ring as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. For the one, the most important stat would be damage gain as extra. So you can have fire, cold, lightning. 2 of the 3 should be good. You don't need more damage. Plus 2 level of all spell skills. It's not really needed. If you, it's actually not optimal because it actually increased the life of my frostwall, which is not good because it will lower the overkill damage because this ice crystal have more maximum life. For example, if I take this off, you can see that the frostwall would have 1000 life. So I lose like, I would do like triple damage taking off this one, but yeah, doesn't really matter. You could get higher roll for critical hit chance for spell on this one if you need it. Just try to get 100% basically, and you should be good to go. For the body armor, I'm using one with plus 80 spirit because I want to run it with blink. Now if you drop blink, you only need to have 20 spirit on the body armor, which is really easy to get. Then you just need to run cast on crit, which is 90 spirits because you have 10% reduced preservation at maximum quality. And this one 30 spirits, so it's 120 total. But I want to run blink, so I'm using this mantle with 80 spirits. So yeah, maximum life, intelligence, and elemental resistance. And that should be it. Try to cap your elemental resistance with the rune slots. And I'll just quickly show you all the jewels, but it's nothing special. Like I mentioned before, critical hit chance, try to cap it. And then I just using some random jewels after I cap my crits. So yeah, crit here, Megalomaniac here. This one more crit here, elemental damage. This one have more maximum energy shields and critical hit chance of spells. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too special. None of these things are too expensive. So it's quite budget in my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much the items. Oh, and the charm I'm using is the Throwing Charm for freeze immunities. I have this for kind of like protect against stuns. And I am not high level enough to take this node, which would help me against freeze as well. So I'm using a Throwing Charm, yeah. Alright, so for the skill gems, for Great Lightning Bolt, basically for Link, Spell Echo, Conk Effect, Concentrate Casting, and Elemental Focus, they are all damage linked to help boost the damage of the Lightning Bolt. The main mapping skill that I'm using is Bonecage, and I have Spell Cascade, Astral Projections, Brutality, and Inspirations. This make it so this is a good combo with Frostwall Cast on Crit because whenever the Frostwall spawn on top of the Bonecage, it's actually damaged by the Bonecage and kill, and it crits and crit all these overlapping lightning on top of the Frostwall as well. So it's pretty good for mapping, as you can see, the chain explosions. So yeah, Bonecage is pretty good. Frostwall, this is the manual Frostwall that I'm using when I'm fighting pinnacle bosses, and you only need this for pinnacle bosses because for normal bossing, just Bonecage combo with cast on crit should be sufficient. So for pinnacle bosses, you would put Spell Cascade in here and you put Icicle in here, and that's pretty much it. You just go on to the fight and cast Frostwall and the boss will instantly die. the cast on crit setups, you don't need six link for this, but for cast on crit setups, make sure you quality it up so it reduces the reservations. And frostwall, the lowest level as you can. I have level 10, so you can get it at level 9, and you shouldn't level up the frostwall as well, like I mentioned before. Energy retention, this is not needed if you don't have the 6 link. Basically, I have life tap because to protect my mana, it will usually in map it costs a lot of mana. Impetus to gain more energy, so it helps a bit during map. Icicle is very important because we are using stampede, and overkill damage means more damage overall for rare. Yeah, so pretty much it. Green Feast because we are running ES. Eye of Winter I don't really use. If you are not cap crit, however, you can use Eye of Winter, and the setup would be Unleash Ferocity. I was using another setups earlier, but yeah. So just use Eyes of Winter with Unleash and Ricochet, and that should be good. If you should be capping crits though in this setup to make it comfy to play. So yeah, but if somehow you're not cap crit, Eye of Winter is the way to go. And then I'm also using Blink with Second Wind. That's pretty much it with the setups. Quite simple. And as per usual, let's end this with a quick map showcase, and I'm going to do a T4 Bridgestones, and I'll fight T4 Xesht by the end. Obviously, if you've seen the introductions, spoiler alert, I kill him in less than 1 second, so you kind of know what happened here. Obviously, pinnacle bossing is easy, but then mapping this build is quite good as well. Bonecage, surprisingly enough, have really good coverage. It's very safe because you just put it in front of you, and monsters that run into it will instantly die pretty much. The AoE clear, like I said, it has a loop, so whenever you put down a bonecage, Ice will spawn, looping with the Critter Lying Bolt, and pretty much kill and cleave everything in the pack near it. So yeah, really good AoE clearing. As you can see here, pretty much everything is a one-shot. We are quite tanky. You can see that our life is mostly always overflow. Our ES, yeah, we're taking hits, and I almost died there, but yeah, we have instant leech. So you still do need to be careful. You can't play recklessly. My gear is not that good. Like, it's not even optimal at all. I just kind of want to showcase that you can do this on a budget setup. You don't need optimal gears. All you need is 100% crit chance, and the damage will pretty much loop itself to infinity and beyond, right? So I wouldn't say this build is like a off-meta build kind of thing because it's using one of the most broken mechanics in the game right now. But should be there. It should be good enough to be a tribute to my Siege Cascade build, because obviously it was nerfed when it is nowhere as near as powerful as this build, when you can just slap together some random gears, get 100% crit chance, and instantly deleting pinnacle bosses. Which is kind of crazy. Definitely not intended. I do have another fun versions backup plan, or I should have backup plan because obviously this is getting nerfed. Charge stackings kind of versions for the builds whenever it gets nerfed. For now, let's just try to enjoy this version of the build. It is extremely strong. It kills everything in the game. You can pretty much trivialize the entire game, which can be boring, but if you don't have characters that is capable of doing so, this would be one of the characters that you can invest in and kill pretty much any content in the games. And it's very budget as well because, like I show you, my gear is nothing special. You can use unoptimized gear and still one-shot pinnacle bosses. Make sure you do the gem swap right before the boss as well. So yeah, just a 4-link frostwall, go in, cast, and the boss will die. I kind of crashed in the first try, but just by casting the frostwall, so I go in for a second attempt, and yeah, the boss pretty much just die. It's not really, it's clean, it's one shot, and it is that broken. So enjoy this build while you guys still can, and with that, I will see you in the next video soon, and thank you so much for watching.